Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video we will add the functionality to enable the player to sit in the car. And as you know, when we sit in the car, then we want some few things to be disabled. Okay, for example, the crosshair, as you can see right here, we want this to be disabled, and also we want to disable the third person and the aim camera as well, and we will activate the vehicle camera. For that, in the script right here, after this vehicle steering, add a header by the name of vehicle security, and in here we need a reference to the player script. So we will say public player script. Let's name this as player, and after this let's create a private float by the name of radius. This will be 5f, and when the player is inside this radius, then the player will be then able to sit. If the player is far away from this radius, or you can say from the vehicle, then the player cannot sit in the vehicle. Okay, so right here let's create another bool by the name of is opened, and here we will check if the door is opened or not. Okay, by default it will be set to false because the player is not sitting in the vehicle. After this we will add a header by the name of disable things. And as I told you, when we are inside the car, we will disable the aim cam and the third person camera and also the player controller. We don't want the player controls to be enabled then. So for the aim camera and aim canvas, we will create a reference, and in a similar way we will create for the third person cam and third person canvas. And let's create a reference for our player character. So we will say public game object player character. We also want the character to be just vanish as well, and also we don't want the controls of the player to work. Okay, now we have the vehicle security and disable things. In the update right here, we will first check if the player is close to the vehicle or not. So for that we will use a vector 3 dot distance, and in here we will first check the vehicle position. Okay, and then the player position. So we will say player dot transform dot position, and after this, if that are less than the radius, then the player can enter the car. It means that yes, the player is closer to the vehicle. And now when the player is closer to the vehicle, and then if the player press the F button, then we want the player to sit in the car. So for that we will say if input dot get key down, and if the key code is dot F, then what we want to do, we want the is open to be set to true, because now the door is open and the player is inside the car. And also we will then set the radius to 5000, and after that this we will set the objective complete, but these things are for the future, so let's just ignore that now, but we will leave a comment for ourselves right here. Okay, so by the F button the player will enter the car, and in the else if the player press the G button, or from the G you can remember this as get out. Okay, GATOUT. Okay, by pressing the G button the player will exit the vehicle. So we can actually copy that, paste it right here, and change this to G. Okay, and then down below the player will exit where is the door transform. Okay, because the player, in most of the games you see that when the player exits from the car, the player just opens up the door and he landed in front of the door. Okay, so In that manner, we will say player dot transform dot position will be then equals to the vehicle door dot transform dot position, and this is the reason we have in the previous video we have created a reference to our vehicle door. Okay, and when the vehicle exit from the vehicle, then we will set is open to false, and again we will set the radius to 5f. Okay, so after this if condition, we will add another if condition, and in here we will check that if the door is opened, then it means that the player is inside the vehicle, and when the player is inside the vehicle, we want the third person camera to be deactivated, so we will say third person cam dot set active false. Also we want the third person canvas to be false, the aim cam and the aim canvas to be false as well, and we want to deactivate the player character as well, because the player will not show, only the car will show in the scene. And when the player is inside the vehicle, then these three functions will work, else the vehicle will not move or do whatever the vehicle does. Okay, and then else if the player is outside the vehicle, then what we want to do, we want to do the vice versa of what we did right there. We will basically set all of these to true. So set this to true. Let's copy that, paste it in here, and right here. Okay, if the player is outside, then we want the player to be activated and all of the other things as well. With this done, let's just save the script, click on the vehicle now, and we need to provide the player script there, so just simply drag and drop the player there. Let me change this back to normal. Okay, and right here we need to provide the aim camera. So here is the aim cinemachine, then the aim canvas, then the third person camera, third person canvas, and the player character. So here is the player character. Okay, now let's play the game, and you will notice that now when we move around, the car just doesn't do anything. Okay, only the player is moving. Now if we press F button from here, as you can see, we can't sit inside the car, but when we come closer to the car, now if we press F, now as you can see, we are inside the car, and now the player and all of the other things are deactivated, as you can see, and only the car is activated right now. And now as you can see, we can control this vehicle. Let's move this vehicle right there. As you can see, we can now control the vehicle, but the only thing now our vehicle is missing is the camera which will follow the vehicle. So for the camera, let's just duplicate the third person scene machine, and let's name this as vehicle cine machine. Press enter. We have the vehicle cine machine now. We need to make some changes right here. The vehicle will collide against the surface in the, okay, only the surface, because when the vehicle falls down, then it should collide with the surface and not go inside. The camera must not go inside the surface. Okay, and after this, right here we need to change this aim to same as follow target. Okay, and then right here we want it to follow the vehicle look. Okay, which is this one. So just drag and drop the vehicle look right there. Now what we need to do is to make the priority of this 8. Okay, the third person same machine is the first camera which will be activated. Its priority is 10. Then the aim canvas, okay, aim cine machine, which is 9, and then this priority will be 8. So now let's play the game. Let's sit in the vehicle. Now as you can see, our look point is right there, so that's why it is looking there, but we can change that. Let's click on the scene. Okay, and actually let me drag and drop the game scene there. We have the look point right there. Let's change its position towards the car. Okay, here is the car. Let's actually click on the silly machine, and we can drag and drop it down like this. We want to show the vehicle in the middle like that. Now let's click on the look. Okay, here is the vehicle. Let's also move it like that. And we can actually move this animation there. Okay, and the vehicle look. Oops. Let's click on the vehicle look. Okay, and let's select the red circle. Let's actually move it a little bit backwards like this. Okay, so we will actually show the vehicle in this position. Okay, so what we will do right here is to simply copy the component of the look. Now copy component, and also let's notice what was the value right here, 0.47, 0.47. Okay, let's make this 0.47, 0.47, and also let's paste the component right here. Now let's play the game on the full screen, and you will notice that when we are outside the car, this camera will be activated. Now let's sit in it, and as you can see, the camera quickly switches to the vehicle. Okay, now let's just simply cruise in our vehicle. Okay, its max speed is 45. You can notice on the back of the vehicle, but we give it a speed of 100. Okay, let's just not mind that. And as you can see, when we move our mouse, nothing happens. Okay, the camera just simply follows the player, as you can see. Now let's go down. Okay, our vehicle is stuck right there. Let's just actually now move the vehicle down below to somewhere right there. Let's put it on the ground. Okay, let's save it now. Let's sit in the vehicle now. And guys, we also need to add the hitting thing to our vehicle. So when we hit the zombie, then the zombie must die. Okay, for example, if we hit this zombie, then the zombie must die. But we will do that in the next video. For now, we are just testing our vehicle, and you can see our vehicle can go wherever we want the vehicle to go. Okay, you can notice the camera is moving according with the vehicle. Okay, if we are driving right here, the camera just vibrate a little bit, as you can see, and then we will just simply close the game, and in the next video we will allow this vehicle to simply hit the zombie with this front thing. Okay, so with this done, see you guys in the next video.